Okay, so right now it's Saturday. On Thursday, about 2 o'clock, I got a phone call. I've been waiting to hear from the doctor's office. I've been in contact with them. They were just waiting for authorization from my insurance. And she called at 2 o'clock, said, "You've been approved. Do you want to come in tomorrow morning?" Um, I was just kind of taken back, like, wow, it's going to happen that soon. Um, kind of needed to. I haven't been doing well, so we started talking about what time I could come in, and then I discovered they only do their treatments in the mornings. That's kind of to be expected because general anesthesia means you can't eat or drink beforehand, so it's midnight. So, but they only do it till 10 a.m., 7 to 10 a.m. And I have summer school, so I have to be at the university from 8 to 10. Which means I have to skip class early for each of my treatments. Skip it 30 minutes early to do the 30-minute drive and get to the doctor in time, which really upset me, still upsets me. I don't like missing class. I like doing everything I can to be a good student, but it is what it is, so we'll have to work on that and deal with that. So yesterday I did get out 30 minutes early. We got out, or I got out at 9:30, got over to the doctor, and man, just the first appointment, and it's a somewhat serious procedure, so there was just a mountain of paperwork to fill out, to do psychological assessments, because they do that every single time you come in. They want to see how you're doing, where you're at in your mind, how big a risk you are, all those fun things. So when I did those, I came out as low risk, but on the higher end of major depression. So that's good. It means according to their test, I'm not going to go out and try and kill myself today, which is true. I've been keeping busier with summer school, which is very good. Very good for my mind. Something that's nice is I don't have to drive for 5 hours to get to my treatment like I did in California, because where I lived, they did not do ECT. So I had to, my wife drive me for 5 hours, get a treatment, and then she'd drive me 5 hours home. And bless her heart for being willing to do that. I'm very grateful for that. But now I'm close enough that if I have to drive myself there, they have services that can get me home, which is nice, which means my wife doesn't have to work all night, come home, take a little nap, take me to treatment, come home, take another little nap, go back to work like she did last night. So that was pretty rough on her. The facility I'm at, really nice, professional. I spoke with the psychiatrist just for a minute before I was put under for treatment, but we agreed that we're working on the bifrontal, not bilateral, and that I would be back on Monday to continue my treatment. That was very brief. I had more time spending talking with the nurses and the anesthesiologist, especially since it was my first time at their facility. They wanted to make sure that the anesthesia was appropriate for me, that I wasn't going to have a reaction. I've never had a reaction to anesthesia, which is good. Because you can have some very life-threatening reactions to that. But as it turns out, I'm not sure I did end up getting everything I needed. This has probably been the roughest treatment I've ever had. Even this morning, I'm wore out. I don't know if they gave me enough muscle relaxant, and I can't tell you all the ins and outs of that because I just don't know. But I came home and my calves felt like I had just climbed a mountain as fast as I could. They just felt like they had shreds in them. Now, my wife did remind me that generally after treatment my calves did hurt, but not like this. And as the day went on, just every muscle all over my body became more and more sore. My neck sore, my rib cage just feels compressed and just ripped open. It just, I know it's not the most horrible pain, but it's incredibly uncomfortable. I spent most of yesterday sleeping, which is pretty typical. I know a lot of the doctors or videos you see will say, "Oh yeah, right after treatment they can get up and go away and blah blah blah," and that hasn't been my experience. That's okay. I don't expect to get out of induced seizures and general anesthesia just to get up and go play tennis or something. I just don't see that happening. But yesterday I was having a hard time staying awake. This morning a little bit still too, still very sore. But the treatment is pretty basic and pretty similar to what I had at the previous facility. They cover you with a bunch of sticky electrodes. They want to monitor your heart, make sure that's all okay. They want to monitor your brain waves during the treatment to see that the seizure is properly induced. And a well-oiled machine, no funny business there. It's a good facility. I'm just going to definitely make sure I talk to the anesthesiologist this next time about my muscle soreness and my experience with that. See if there's anything we can do about that. If each treatment is that difficult here, I don't know if I could do it. And that's just the truth of it. Because I have a life outside of getting treated. I have to be able to make it to school, get that stuff done. I have a family, I have responsibilities. So, yeah. Another thing was that yesterday I was just really hot. I had a hard time getting comfortable while I was sleeping. I mean, the heat index outdoors was 106. Of course, it was 78 indoors, but still, I felt really hot. I don't really know if that stems from the treatment, the medications, or I don't know. May not have had anything to do with any of that. Just may have been an off day. So as far as my mental state, in my head, I haven't had much of a headache. Well, today that is. Yesterday I did have a headache, pretty bad headache. But I also let them know beforehand. They're very accommodating as far as what the treatments give you. It's not uncommon, I guess, to get headaches. So they gave me Toradol for that. And I've also gotten pretty bad nausea before from the treatments for whatever reason. So they gave me IV Zofran for that. And that helps with the nausea. So those two things help. And then this morning my headache's not as bad. As far as my mental state, I couldn't tell you where I'm at right now. It's only one treatment. I'm not really depressed. I'm more focused on just how tired I am and how sore I am and everything. So if nothing else, it's a distraction from the depression. I have another treatment on Monday and then Thursday. And we'll see how those go. We'll see just where that puts me. So this is the first treatment, and we'll see where we go from there.